Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivragacharya Astotara Sadasya Srimad Abhai Charanara Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Granto Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 5, text 46. Vidura's talks with Maitreya. And the demigods are speaking. Pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ. Pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ. Pravṛddha-bhaktyā viśada-āśayāḥ. Pravṛddha-bhaktyā viśada-āśayāḥ. Vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodham. Vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodham. Yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam. yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ pravṛddha-bhaktyā viśada-āśayāḥ vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodhaṁ yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam Bolo. Vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodhaṁ yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodhaṁ yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ pravṛddha-bhaktyā viśada-āśayāḥ vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodhaṁ yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam Ladies. Te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ vairāgya-sāraṁ pratilabhya bodhaṁ yathāñjasānvīyur akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam pānena by drinking te of you deva O Lord kathā topics sudhāyāḥ of the nectar pravṛddha highly enlightened bhaktyā by devotional service viśada-āśayā with a greatly serious attitude ye those who vairāgya-sāraṁ the entire purport of renunciation pratilabhya achieving bodham intelligence yathā as much as añjasā quickly anvīyuḥ achieve akuṇṭha-dhiṣṇyam Vaikuṇṭhaloka in the spiritual world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord, persons who, because of their serious attitude, attain the stage of enlightened devotional service, achieve the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge, and attain the Vaikuṇṭha in the spiritual sky simply by drinking the nectar of your topics. Please repeat. It's a very nice verse, and it's a prayer by the demigods. It's very relevant for all of us. So, O Lord, persons who, because of their serious attitude, attain the stage of enlightened devotional service, achieve the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge, and attain the Vaikuṇṭhaloka in the spiritual sky, simply by drinking the nectar of your topics. How good is that? Purport. The difference between the impersonalistic mental speculators and the pure devotees of the Lord is that the former pass through a miserable understanding of the absolute truth at every stage, whereas the devotees enter into the kingdom of all pleasures, even from the beginning of their attempt. The devotee has only to hear about devotional activities, which are as simple as anything in ordinary life, and he also acts very simply, whereas the mental speculator has to pass through a jugglery of words, which are partially facts and partially a make-show for the maintenance of an artificial, impersonal status. In spite of his strenuous efforts to attain perfect knowledge, the impersonalists attain merging into the impersonal oneness of the Brahma-Kyoti of the Lord, which is also attained by the enemies of the Lord simply because of their being killed by him. The devotees, however, attain to the highest stage of knowledge and renunciation and achieve the Vaikuṇṭhalokas, the planets in the spiritual sky. The impersonalist attain only the sky and does not achieve any tangible transcendental bliss, whereas the devotee attains to the planets where real spiritual life prevails. With a serious attitude, the devotee throws away all achievements like so much dust, and he accepts only devotional service, the transcendental culmination. Hare Krishna. So we're greatly missing the loss of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, and we offer our activities in devotional service like this class and whatever we're doing as a matter of respect and seeking his blessings. He is the embodiment of this verse, so it's a nice meditation. Sometimes to see devotional service in practice or to understand the nature of devotional service, we study the life of the devotees and we see how they act, how they behave, how they perform their activities, and we can gain a lot of inspiration, and we can also gain a lot of clarity in the matter of devotional service. So welcome everyone. This verse is coming as a series of verses that the demigods are offering to Garbhodakṣa Vishnu. And I don't know if you have been coming to the previous classes. Who have been coming to the previous classes? Okay. So there is a glorification of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So why are the lotus feet of the Lord glorified? What's special about the lotus feet of Krishna? According to these prayers. Anyone remembers anything? Loud? Okay. So one of the things that is being mentioned is that the lotus feet of the Lord are, let's go in order, full of knowledge. The lotus feet of the Lord are full of knowledge. And they are like an umbrella to give shelter to the conditioned souls in the material world. The devotees seek the lotus feet of Krishna to become free also from the sinful reactions, from the difficulties that arise in material existence. And one who actually attains or hear about the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion at once becomes enlightened in knowledge and becomes detached. These verses, or this theme, is a main theme actually in the Bhagavatam, and is coming throughout again and again, and is the glories of devotional service. How devotional service is a superior process than any other process. And why is that? It's the topmost sadhana, it's the topmost practice. Because, okay, so why is the topmost practice? Since we're a little small group, we can make a little interactive. Why is bhakti the topmost practice in devotional to any other practice? And we're talking about jnana, vairāgya. In this particular purport, Prabhupada is making a comparison between the impersonalist and the devotees of the Lord. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairāgyam Jnanam Chat Yat Ahaitukam. That by rendering devotional service, one attains immediately costless knowledge of the Lord and detachment from the world. Ashu Vairāgyam, very quickly. Similarly, in this verse, today, the previous verse and also this verse that we're discussing now, it's been mentioned that one can attain the stage of complete knowledge and renunciation by hearing about the nectar of the pastimes of the Lord. So, the goal of other processes are all including within bhakti. One immediately becomes detached. One immediately attains complete knowledge. Like also it's been mentioned in this verse, the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge. So this is the speciality of devotional service, that if you do any other process, you may achieve some renunciation, you may achieve some knowledge, but you will not achieve complete renunciation and complete knowledge. That also comes by the performance of devotional service. It's the fruit, is actually, and what is complete knowledge? And we're going back to the initial question, why devotional service is superior to any other process? Complete knowledge is surrendering unto the lotus feet. I will say that complete knowledge provokes or infuses us with the desire to fully surrender to Krishna. Yeah, you were going to say something else? Yeah. You can give them the mic. Yeah. No working. Okay. Okay. Actually, yeah. Okay, I understood what you're saying. Very good. And it's been mentioned here in this purport. Prabhupada just said one thing. It says that which are partially. It says that the process of impersonalism is a way to maintain an artificial impersonal status. Meaning that the process of being an impersonalist, which is the greatest offense to the Lord, by the way, it's not natural for the soul. And I wanted to focus on this point because it's very, I mean, in one sense it's very obvious, but sometimes it may elude us, and it's in terms of what is the difference in practice. The glories of devotional service is being described here, okay? And the glories of devotional service, just to make it faster, what are they? You attain a higher goal, while Prabhupada is mentioning here that the impersonalists only attain to the sky, but the devotees, they attain to the spiritual planets. So the realization that you get by bhakti is higher. You understand who Krishna is, which is the most complete understanding of the absolute truth, while the impersonalists, they stay only at the Brahman platform. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattva jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The learned transcendentalists know the absolute truth in three features. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. It's a non-dual substance. There is no difference. In one sense, it's the same. Absolute truth cannot be more than one. It's just one truth. But their understanding is incomplete. You can only attain to that through the practice of bhakti. And on the top of that, bhakti is more simple. And this is being repeated in the Bhagavad Gita many times, right? Which chapter in the Bhagavad Gita? Someone remembers? Chapter 12, Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta shakta chetasam avyakta hidagir dukam dehapadir avapyate. That those people who are on this path of impersonalism, they only encounter trouble. It's a troublesome path from the beginning. Why is it troublesome? Why is it troublesome? Because it's unnatural for the soul. And what is the nature of the soul is that we're active. We want to be engaged. We're naturally, the soul wants to have relationships. We're seeking love. We're seeking loving exchanges with the Lord. And to practice impersonalism is to, suppress all those things. So therefore it becomes very difficult. It is like following the four regulative principles. Is it easy? Is it easy? You're all great souls. Is it easy to follow the four regulative principles? Come, honest answer. Is it easy or not? It's not easy, right? It's difficult. Yeah? But can you imagine trying to follow the regulative principles without kirtan, without prasadam, without association of devotees, without deity worship? Will it be possible? That's the impersonal path. No relationships, no seeing and no mercy. Because the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is impersonal. It means there is no exchange. There is no mercy. There is no personal reciprocation. So it's a very dry process. We are practicing Krishna consciousness, and we know that even though we may be, incomplete in our practices, we may have so many defects, but we have that hope that Krishna is merciful, and He will give me His mercy. Sooner or later, He will help me. He's helping me already in ways that I don't even see. Tesham aham samudarta mrityu samsara sagarat. That Krishna is comparing the impersonal path to the personal path. And He says, for those who are engaged in devotional service, I become, again, the swift deliverer. It's no accident that these words are introduced, asu, like quickly, swift deliverer. Here it's also been mentioned in the previous verse. So it's quick, and Prabhupada is emphasizing this point, and it's very interesting because he's saying that, he says, whereas the devotee enters into the kingdom of all pleasures even from the beginning of their attempt. Even from the beginning. So now, why is it that anyone has entered the kingdom of, what is it? The kingdom of all pleasures. Are we living in the kingdom of all pleasures? Sometimes, yeah? Like Mayapur is, I was just singing today, Radha Madhava, I was thinking that we're so lucky that Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that song here, how special is this place? Yeah? And, what to say, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing pastimes here, so we're very fortunate. But sometimes we get into some kind of struggle in our spiritual lives, correct? No? No struggle? Eh? So where is the struggle coming from? Krishna is saying here that it's a joyful process. It's there from the Bhagavad Gita. Then we need to understand what is the process. And this is what I'm trying to focus on this class today. Because this is what is being explained is Bhakti is superior. Bhakti is superior as a process, and Bhakti is superior because it grants, and it's better also because it grants the highest attainment. But it's easier. So what is the difference in the process? What is the main aspect of this process? It's been mentioning here in first line. Pānena te deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ. They are drinking the nectar of Krishna's pastimes. This is the essence of all our spiritual practices, either through chanting the holy name, through hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the very essence. The very essence of Krishna consciousness is to fix the mind on Krishna. And because Krishna is all wonderful, all blissful, all knowledgeable, by that association, we become purified. And by becoming and purification means what? And that's why it's the topmost sadhana. Purification means that we come in touch with our real nature. The soul is conditioned by the material energy, and what is the conditioning? The conditioning is that we have forgotten who we really are. We have forgotten our nature. We are not acting according to our nature. We have become impersonalist in one sense, because we are denying the existence of God. We have forgotten our relationship with Him. So the topmost sadhana is that by which we become reinstated in that relationship. And the easiest way to do that is by hearing about Krishna. The more we hear about Krishna, the more we become attached to Him, the more we become purified, and then our minds become steady in the practice of Krishna consciousness. So if we are experiencing difficulty in our practices, it may be the case that we are not practicing properly. If you remember those times that you were blissful, maybe you are blissful right now, that we were blissful in Krishna consciousness, we were actively engaged in service. You see, no? Like, particularly those who live in the temple of brahmacharis, those times, you know, you don't have time, you're constantly absorbed in service, engaged, and it's a blissful time. It's a blissful time. Similarly, you know, in other situations, when we're actively engaged in hearing and chanting, and the message is being repeated again and again and again. It's not only here, it's throughout the whole Bhagavatam. You can find so many verses that emphasize in the same point. Shrimpata Sokata Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana, Ridyantasto Hyabadrani Vidunoti Surichitane. That Krishna, who is the super soul residing in the heart, and the benefactor, is the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses the heart from the devotee who have developed what? The desire to hear about him. Vidunoti Suri, I cleanse the heart. So this is the difference also in the process. In Krishna consciousness, Krishna does the cleansing. He is the one that cleanses our anarthas, We don't have any power to get rid of our anarthas, really. However, this should not be misunderstood, because it's a very important word here. We haven't reached to that word yet. And what is the word that was mentioned in the verse regarding how we practice? What is the qualification? Serious. One has to be serious of the serious attitude. So what is a serious attitude means? Serious. Like miserable. Serious means that you give a lot of importance. That this is a serious matter means that it's a very important matter. It means that other things are not as important as if you're serious about something, it means it's a priority in your life. It's a priority. It's another verse in the second canto. Shimvata, what is it? Shimvata shadaya nityam. Swachestitam. Swachestitam means also the same, serious. Prabhupada uses the same word. Shimvata shadaya nityam. It says that one has to hear, is the qualification. It's not only just hear. Prabhupada, of course, Prabhupada said that even another devotee, by hearing, he will become purified. But there is also a qualification that we need to develop in order to get this. And remember the context of this verse. The context is who is going to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, and who is not going to get them. Who are not going to get them? Those who are offensive. Who are going to get them? Those who are seriously hearing the nectarian pastimes of drinking the nectar of the pastimes of the Lord. So in that previous verse we were just quoting, in the second canto, I don't remember if it's Sutta Goswami saying that verse, but he's saying that, you know, one has to hear with faith, shraddha, with great faith. Faith means what? In Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada translated as faith means trust in something sublime. It means you have that conviction that there is no higher engagement. There is nothing else that I can do better than surrendering to Krishna. You were saying on that, engaging myself in the practice of devotional service. Nityam. Nityam means like regular, means like constant. So how constant are we in our reading, in our hearing of the Bhagavatam? This is clear. I mean, the instruction is being given very clearly. How to become absorbed, how to become ecstatic. You see those devotees who are actually blissful in Krishna consciousness. They are doing a lot of hearing and chanting. You go to the Harinam every day, or they don't go every day. I think they don't go on Tuesdays. Tuesdays they off. You go to the Harinam there. The devotees are blissful. You cannot be not blissful in the Harinam. 3 hours of chanting, every day. They're getting empowered. Those devotees who are actively studying and hearing the Bhagavatam, you can see. They are taking the medicine. The process, we are depending on Krishna's mercy, but the process is not by force. It's voluntary. So, in one sense, it depends on us also, because how serious are we about hearing about Krishna? How serious, how regular we are? How much faith we have? Everything in the Bhagavatam is arranged, in the Bhagavad Gita is arranged to act as a catalyst. Like a catalyst in chemical reactions, sometimes you put some chemical that make the reaction act faster, So we want our devotion to grow faster. We want our faith to become firm and steady, right? Is that our desire or not? It's our prayer. So how do we get this? It's by hearing about Krishna, by studying the scriptures. We become convinced. We become attached to the Lord. And it says that, so again, that serious attitude. Prabhupada talked about being serious and sincere in another place. Sincere means that you don't have any other agenda. You don't have any other aspiration than what? That pleasing the Lord. When we hear the Bhagavatam, we come to the Bhagavatam class, we come to the morning prayer, whatever we do, the devotee is introspective all the time. What is my motivation? The moment that we actually add that spirit, which is called bhakti, devotion, that I am going to do this just so that Krishna may become pleased. Then we can taste the sweet nectar of Krishna consciousness. Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he's describing the two witches, right? What are the two witches? It says two witches that they haunt you like you become like a ghost, because you're not acting according to your real nature. You're not have you seen someone haunted before? Anyone have? I've seen them. I remember years ago there was one lady who was haunted, and she actually came to our temple to get exercise, And I was just outside the room where she was being exercised, yeah. And I could hear she speaking, like, I don't like this place, get me out of here, And it was a woman, but it wasn't she who was speaking, because the devotee had a giriraj and was trying to put him on her head, and he was freaking out. The demon was, inside was freaking out. And he was saying, okay, chant, repeat with me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I don't want to say that. I don't want to chant that, Hare Krishna. Hare. Eventually, she said, the ghost said the holy name. But when someone is haunted, it means you're not acting normally. You are acting against your well-being, and that's a very extreme example. But it's an example that Rupa Goswami uses. And what is the example that there are two witches that haunt us? Bhukti and mukti. So what are they? What are those? What is this that is impeding us from engaging ourselves fully in this practice and actually relishing it? Is two desires. Okay, is the desire for, obviously, bhukti, the desire for material enjoyment. Very hard to get rid of. So it's deeply rooted. For many, many lifetimes, we've been haunted by this. But we should understand that this is not us. These material desires are not us, they are impressions, they are covering us. But it's not who we really are. And that's why no matter how you endeavor to satisfy those desires, you're never satisfied, because it's not who you are. So as far as we maintain, we hold on to those things, material desires. And what's the other one? Mukti. What is the desire for liberation? What is the desire for freedom from suffering? We even perform devotional service, but we are not performing devotional service because we want to please Krishna. We're performing devotional service because we are burning. Please give me some relief. I mean, that's also good. It's also good, okay? So Krishna appreciates that. He says that, anyone who comes to him for whatever reason, they're all magnanimous souls. That's Krishna's heart. Krishna's love for the souls, for everybody. But actually what captures Krishna is when the devotee is actually doing it for himself. Doing it for himself and doing it for Krishna. And what is the desire that the devotee has? Is to attain Krishna. The highest goal, and is what's been described here, the complete knowledge and complete renunciation, the highest attainment available in this the highest attainment achievable by anyone in the material world is to attain to the lotus feet of Krishna, to go back to the spiritual world. Anything else is not going to leave us satisfied. So unless we have that conviction, that's what that's Shraddha. Shraddha means that I actually want to go back home, back to God, and I want to develop a relationship with Krishna. I'm serious about it. I may have other things to do in life, and it's like I was saying, it's important we understand the differences in the process, because one process is dry renunciation. One process is devoid from hearing of Krishna Katha. The first thing that Prabhupada is saying in the purport is that the impersonalist speculates and the devotee likes to hear. Sometimes we get into our mind so much. You experience that? The blues of the mind, and this, and what about this, what about that, and the world, and, but the devotee actually, he likes to hear. And when we hear, the mind becomes clear and our thought processes become clear. And we can differentiate between what is good and what is beneficial and what is not beneficial for us. Okay, any questions or comments from anyone? I'm leaving 10 minutes, yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful class. Closing here, Prabhupada mentions that for impersonalists, they do a make sure for the maintenance of artificial personal status. Can you explain something about this, like how it's a make sure, or what do they do to do this make sure?
Yeah, well, I think I already mentioned in the class, that the impersonalists, it's a make-sure because it's a pretense. The nature of the soul is that we're servants. We're servants of Krishna. The nature of the soul is to be active. So, if you artificially try to control the senses, for example, then it's a make-sure because is going against your nature. And what is the result? That you become very disturbed, and it's very difficult to maintain that status. So therefore it's very easy to fall down. But the devotee of the Lord, he is acting according to his nature because he's engaging the senses. So like for example, in Krishna consciousness, we are having a lot of sense gratification. It's a fact. I know you're looking like, what are you talking about, sense gratification? But sense gratification in Krishna consciousness, right? Like you get up in the morning, and who gets up in the morning at 4:30 to sing and dance? Any materialist? Who else is there, who is like singing and dancing at 5 o'clock in the morning? Is there any materialist who is smelling the fragrances of the incense and seeing the flowers and the beautiful outfits of Radha Madhava, like changed twice a day? Just the decorations of the flowers, the music. It's a lot of engagement for the senses, isn't it? Then prasadam. Who eats, prasadam is so rich, so much variety, it's so satisfying. We have engagement. Now, what does the impersonalist do? No deity worship, solitude, no association, very simple food. It's artificial. And the point I'm trying to bring is that we can bring that into Krishna consciousness also. That's what I'm trying to say. That sometimes we are practicing artificial renunciation. We are not acting according to our level. And the solution to all this is given in the verse. Pānena deva kathā-sudhāyāḥ. That one must somehow or other, absorb the mind in the nectarian pastimes of the Lord. Because, all knowledge, basically, this is the crucial point, all knowledge and all renunciation is actually useless, devoid of bhakti. It has no value whatsoever. So that's the make sure. They are trying to prove to themselves that they are one with God, and they want to merge with God, and this is just not true. And it's been mentioned before that these people cannot attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even in the Gita, when it's mentioned that the impersonalist, what is the first line of that verse? Anyway, the impersonalist at last attain me. Krishna says, the impersonal at last attain me. The verse is eluding me right now. But he says that they at last attain me, but what do they attain? They attain the impersonal aspect of the Lord. And that's mentioned here. Prabhupada is saying that the impersonalist, even if they manage to succeed, surpassing all the obstacles of material life, what do they get? They get to the spiritual sky, but not to the planets. They get to the Brahma-jyoti. So it's a very important understanding that the way that we can mitigate the miseries of material existence and the way we can cross over the ocean of material life is through the hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. And the very Bhagavatam is the special arrangement for the people in the age of Kali to cross over all obstacles. Krishna swadam upagate dharma jnana divisaha kalo nastadrishamisa puranarko dunadita. That this Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of the age of Kali shall get light from this Bhagavad Purana. Prabhupada made the most important part of his mission. He said, he was translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, creating the TOVP, right? Building the TOVP and completing the Srimad Bhagavatam. The weapon that Prabhupada brought to the West was the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? If you see that little pamphlet when he came, it says, ambassadors of goodwill. No, sorry, message of goodwill. And it was a leaflet like promoting the Bhagavatam, selling the Bhagavatam, how many volumes, you know, for sale. He had not translated the full Bhagavatam yet. He had translated the first canto. But that was his mission. That's what Prabhupada brought. Of course, he brought the holy name and the Bhagavatam. Those were the two weapons by which Prabhupada conquered the whole world. And it's the weapons by which we can conquer over our Maya. There is no other alternative. It doesn't mean that we don't have to, you know, work on, you know, our anarthas, you know. But if we don't have the main medicine, which is the hearing and chanting, then it just goes on and on and on. You know, you will never attain the complete knowledge, the complete renunciation, and the ultimate goal of life, which is going back home, back to Godhead. And basically, as you know, we're saying it's about developing a relationship. You know, what I find before coming to Krishna consciousness, I realized, I mean, you know, I realized I was just, you could say, there was no Jews in my Catholic, you know, I was brought up as a Roman Catholic, and I was quite religious until a certain age, but, you know, when I reached my teens, I went wild, no? But before, because there was no Jews there. There was no, like, there was a little bit, you know, because, you know, Jesus and this, but there was, the personal aspect is not so emphasized. And the whole Bhagavatam, the whole teachings of Krishna consciousness is helping us understanding who Krishna is. And what is so wonderful about Krishna? I mean, so many things. Tell me one thing that is wonderful about Krishna. Prabhu, and Giri Govardhan, something wonderful about Krishna. He's supremely merciful. I mean, you only need to know that. He's supremely merciful. What else? Something wonderful about Krishna. Mate, what's something wonderful about Krishna? What did you like the most about Krishna? He loves you. It's a fact. It's a fact. Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. He is partial to his devotees. He's so beautiful. He never lets you down. Can you imagine the point, and what Bhagavatam is giving, the fruit of this is giving is a personal relationship with him, where you see him face to face, like I'm seeing you, know, and like Brahma at the beginning of the creation, he shook hands with the Lord. You shake hands, you embrace, or you're embraced by Krishna. We're experiencing some drops of mercy, but the real mercy is yet to come. And you know, we need to kind of meditate on these things and aspire for them, because otherwise the man will go for the material things. And this is the difference between the impersonalists and the personalists. The impersonalists, what do they have to aspire for? You know, just like being not bothered. Sometimes we have that impersonal tendency that I just want to be alone. Nobody bothers me, you know. But you cannot be happy with that. How long can you be? We're seeking love. We're seeking relationships. And Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. He's the most expert in reciprocating love. We see through the Bhagavatam again and again and again, reciprocating with Kunti Devi, with Bhishmadev, with Parikshit, with with so many. I mean, it's just, the whole Bhagavatam is about Krishna's reciprocation. But the way to enter into that understanding is by hearing about it. So any moment, any day of the week that passes by that we have not spent some time is a day lost. Right? That's why it says nityam. And the acharyas are very merciful and very kind to us, because they say that nityam means eternal, means all the time. But the acharyas say, okay, nityam means every day. Just do it every day. That's enough. At least once. Just do it every day. So, and then what is the result? At the end we get Krishna, and I'll repeat this sentence, with such a beautiful sentence. It says, the devotee has only, I'll repeat again, a little bit. It says, the devotees enter into the kingdom of all pleasures, even from the beginning of their attempt. That's why we join, right? We get some amazing, reciprocation. The devotee has only to hear about devotional activities, which are as simple as anything in ordinary life. And he also acts very simply. Okay? So also acting very simply means without duplicity. The devotee is not duplicitous. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantha Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Om. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Hari Om.